you think me and you can come to a common understanding?
Oh, that we can. That's in the Bible too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Bible was written before the Quran.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about that now. Now we're going to shift from politics come to scriptures, right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing I say about, for instance, here, first and foremost, the name Bible means what?
It's a collection of books.
Right.
66 books.
Right. So,
yes.
so what I see how this is happening, right? Jesus came, his revelation was the gospel, right? Now, this gospel has no other name attached to it. That's what you need to notice here, right? His gospel has no other name. Like the Torah, it doesn't have the Torah of Joshua or the Torah of someone else and someone else and someone. Or we don't have the Quran to say the Quran of this follower or that follower, that follower.
Well, Muhammad's reading the Torah in the Bible, wasn't he?
Say that again?
When Muhammad like reading the Torah in the Bible?
No, so this is what people say, right?
Yeah.
But we believe in God, right? You know we believe in God.
Well,
right?
there's God, yeah.
But we believe in that God, right? This God is ever living, everlasting. Has no beginning, has no end.
Yeah.
Right?
That's Jesus.
Before created anything, he was, he is, and he still is.
He's reality.
Right? Right. He's the real reality.
He's reality.
He is the real reality. All of this is not the real reality. It's just his creation. And he, after created everything, he's the one who's sustaining everything. Right? So if you look at, for instance, the nature in itself, right? Everything has a purpose, right? The sun has a purpose, the day has a purpose, the rain coming down has a purpose, right? The food that is brought up from the ground, it has its purpose, right? All of this purpose ultimately is serving life and is serving the human life.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, we shouldn't sever it all.
So everything is serving this human being, then we also have a purpose too, right? What is our purpose? Now, when you look at the nature, they are submitting to the way they are created. That's what we call submission of the natures, right? So the day will come and then the night will follow. They don't have a clutch like this and have an argument. I'm saying longer, no, you get out the way. We're like, what the hell's going on over there? No, it's all working in harmony because God is in proper harmony.
Yeah, he said it in harmony.
Okay, right. Yeah. So when you look at the human being, it doesn't matter what part of the world from. You're from the States, I'm from here, there's people from Far East and everything else, right? But as human beings, when they wake up in the morning, they are all striving, right? What are they striving for? They're striving to be successful. They're striving to be happy, right?
Basically, just pay the bills anymore.
Yeah, the pay the bills. They have trapped us in this.
Yeah.
That's why we're paying the bill to them, right? Because we want to be free and all of that. But we're talking about human nature, right? We all still waking up, striving because we want to be successful. Ultimately, we all want to be successful, right? That is the human nature from day one until the last day. That is never going to change within your human being, right? So why is it that we're chasing this? Why is it that we want to be successful? Simple term is because God has created us in this way. It's like when you make a phone, you put the chip inside, you program it this way, it's going to function exactly the way it's been created, right? It's going to do what's been programmed to do. Yeah. So we have been, in a way, programmed to look for success and everything because the Creator has made us like this, right? He has made us like this to become successful and everything, right? So then where has He kept the success? Why has He done it like this? You know what I'm saying? So what we say, that this Creator that spoke to Prophet Muhammad revealed the revelation, right? First and foremost, why is the Quran a miracle, right? The Quran, the whole entire Quran is a miracle first and foremost. This prophet that God chose, He chose the prophet who couldn't read and write. He does that so people, when they read it, they can say, wait, he can't read and write. How can he say this and that and that and this? Before we go to the Torah and before we go to the Bible, because they were also revelation from God sent to Moses, and the gospel was sent to Jesus, right? So if the source, where it's coming from, he sent it to Moses, right? And he decides what he sent to Moses, he sent to Jesus, and he narrates some of the stuff he sent to Moses to Jesus as well, then what's the harm if it's relating what went in the past, telling Prophet Muhammad, like, there have been many messengers before you, they've had their struggle, and give description of the prophets, what they went through with their people, how they were turned down, and this, that, and the other. It's just to strengthen him, to not to say, like sometimes people say, you're not alone, right? So this is what we're trying to say, that you don't look like you can't, it's easy to say that a man went to this community and that community and got it, but if you read like his lifestyle and everything else, right, what he went through, he hasn't got time for this. You see what I'm saying? Of what he was subjected to and what his followers were subjected to. But if
Muhammad.
the creator is revealing all that to him, for instance, say I'm a cab driver,
Yeah.
right? And you're in the secret services, right? And I picked you up with another fella of yours, right? And I'm taking you to the airport, right? And you spoke to me and you said, you know what, this guy speaks all right English. We can get on with him. And you offer me a job. And you say to me, Khaled, do you want to do this job? And I'm like, what kind of job? You go to me, you're going to go to Saudi, right? Or to the Arabs.
And go to a cave.
Yeah?
Right, and go to a cave.
No, okay.
Wait on Gabriel.
1 second, 1
Is
second.
that right?
Well,
Is that where you go?
No. You're going to go to Saudi, you're going to stand in the podium, and you're going to speak in front of 10,000 people, right? And you're going to do it in Arabic. And I'm like, I don't know Arabic though. They say, don't worry, right? We're going to give you a little bit of training, and we're going to put an earpiece in your ear. And we're going to talk to you, and you're going to hear what we're saying.
Like God
and you're just going to speak that into a microphone.
Yeah.
And it's going to get amplified to tens of thousands of people. Can you do that? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, it's good money? Okay, even better. Right? How difficult is that for me to do?
Depends on how well you're motivated, I guess.
No, I mean, I can do it. You're going to give me the training.
Yeah.
You're confident I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that much of a word I have to say. Yeah. Right? You're going to give me the training for the word I have to say. You're going to repeat them to me. I'm going to have my time to learn them. And then at the same time, you're going to be there. Right? When I am saying that, if I am saying anything...
That's what they're saying Joe Biden did. He had the ear thing in it.
Well, George Bush always had it. I mean, that guy couldn't take a word off his own.
Yeah.
I mean? But what I'm trying to say to you, right? You see, that's not difficult for God to do if he chooses, right? Now, thing about the cave is, at the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his society, they used to bury, if there was a girl born, if there was a baby born and she had to be a girl, the father would take the baby and bury it straight away alive. That was normal for them. Right? That's how much darkness they were sunk in.
And this is what I don't get. Like, all the prophets of old were slaughtered. They were killed. You know, they come telling the truth, and like they had a bunch of idols, like the idol makers. Like when the apostles would go to I can't remember exactly.
Are you getting what I'm trying to get to you?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So when I tell you that this is what we're talking, it's from the same God who sent Jesus, is the one who sent Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the one who sent Abraham, is the one who sent Moses, is the one who sent Jacob, the one who, the 12 tribes, that's who they worship. We're talking about David, we're talking about Solomon, peace be upon them, we're talking about Adam, we're talking about his generation, what they worship. We're talking about Noah, who we worship and everything. Everybody believe and worship this one God, right? Yeah. It's always been this one God, right? But it's just somewhere when it comes to Christianity, it changes, and there's a reason for that. And there's a good reason for that. And I can go into that reason if you want me to right now.
Well, I mean, I know y'all's religion's changed a lot too in certain things. There's different sects and stuff. But like the way I was raised, we believe one God, and his name is Jesus. That he came, and like y'all say, like, how could it be possible that God himself came down in flesh, right? Y'all say that?
No.
Like, why would he do that?
No. We say that, right? We say that because we know that he didn't do that.
Why would? I'm saying, why would he come to a guy that can't read or write?
Exactly.
But
that's a good question.
If that's possible,
that's a good question, right?
Couldn't he come down in flesh? Like Adam walked and talked with God, right? You believe God's a spirit? Y'all believe that?
No.
You don't?
No.
You don't believe he has one right arm or whatever? He's in the cube in Mecca, right?
We believe what he reveals about us.
But we say God is a spirit.
No, I know you guys, you're saying that, right?
Yeah.
Right? You're saying God is a spirit, right? But then spirit would have a beginning, it would have an end, right? God, as we know, there's nothing like unto God, right? He's the one who creates everything, maintains everything. He's the one who doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end. There is no beginning to him, there is no end to him. If you're going to say a spirit, right, a spirit will have whatever. You don't have a spirit, whether it's round, it's round, it's light. I mean, we are all spirit as well in the body. That's why earlier on, when you told me where I'm from, I said, Alam Arwah. Yeah. This is where the spirit was, right? Yeah. Now, when we were there one time, before even Adam was created.
So you believe that, like, that we were in heaven first?
Not heaven.
This is like a test?
No. This probably
the Mormons believe that.
This, I don't believe we're in heaven because we haven't been to heaven. The only person that set footstep in heaven was Adam himself, because he
You don't believe Elijah or Enoch? Y'all don't have that story?
No.
Enoch was translated, took up, and Elijah was took up without
one
dying?
of the prophets we believe, Enoch in the fourth heaven, and then and he went as far as the fourth heaven, right? But when he got there, Allah, as we know in our tradition, told the angel of death, go and bring me his soul from the fourth heaven. And he's thinking like, how am I going to get his soul from the fourth heaven? He's coming down to take his soul from the earth, right? And he finds him in the fourth heaven. So he takes his soul. So what we believe, you see, you got a spirit, I got a spirit, right?
Yeah.
And when we feel spiritually uplifted, we just feel spiritually uplifted. We say in Islam that's the strength of faith, right? You will interpret that as, oh, that is the Holy Spirit, that is God inside of me, right? Then how many gods do we have and everything, right?
Yeah.
But what we say about the spirit, right? Angels, they bring the spirit down from that realm when God creates us in the mother's womb, right? When He's fashioned us, right? Done the eyes, done the nose, everything in the mother's womb, tiny little corpuscles, right? That's when the angel comes, they blow the soul in. Once they blow the soul in, that's when the baby will kick, they feel the kick in the stomach, and they say, oh, my baby's kicked. Right? That's when we become alive. That's when our heart starts beating, and since then the heart is beating. Now the next thing is about death, that there's an angel of death. You must have seen on TikTok, there are people on stage or something and they're looking around like this and they're doing it and they suddenly drop floor.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
These
even back in Christians,
Yeah,
like they'll say they'll be laying in the bed dying. They'll say, "Oh, you know, I've heard people say that."
Yeah,
my cousin, she's a nurse. She said she had one time a real mean guy come in there. You know, I mean, she didn't want to lie. She said that the light started flickering and then he died. She said it tripped out. You know, I mean, you hear everybody say everything.
So, John, what we're trying to say to you, right, what we're trying to say, when Allah, He sent a messenger, even Jesus, right? He sent him. It was His choice to give him a miraculous birth, right? Because he was sent for the children of Israel. Sometimes people, you know, they will listen. Oh, if he's a scholar, I'll listen to him. If he's not a scholar, I'll not listen to him. Oh, he's got a PhD. Oh, he's got a degree. Oh, he's got this and that. And then people are drawn to listen to something like that as well, right? Because of something. Yeah. But when God sends a messenger, He doesn't add any of these things to make it easy for you. He gives it a little challenging for you to use your intellect and everything.
Everything I've ever read about a prophet in the past, it seems like they all say the same thing now. And I'm seeing more and more I read the Bible. They all say, God, I've had a hard time. I've went through some stuff. Thank you, God. He got me closer to you. They suffered. And that's one thing like I read about Muhammad, like his uncle started protecting him.
Yeah.
Then they spread it through the sword.
No, all this sorted on that, right?
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, they
all this sorted on that.
Well, his uncle was like more or less, you know, you mess with
his father passed away while he was in his mother's womb.
So the uncle, assumed.
But then his grandfather took care of him. Once the grandfather's life was ending, he brought one of his other sons and said, make sure you take care of him. So he was a protector until he died. When he died, then the Quraysh tribe, it was easy for them now to lay their hands on him. There were often times where they didn't even let him into the city and things like that he went through, right? That's when the relation between him and Abu Bakr comes in. Abu Bakr was his long life friend, but then it became his father-in-law. And because of that, he was getting a little bit of strength, right, in this community and all that, right? Before then God told him to migrate to Medina and everything, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I've vaguely read
the
about...
The thing is, where do you start? This is what my concern will be. You've heard it from people, what they want, just like the media, right? They give you what they want you to think and what they want to feed you.
Okay.
The same thing with Islam. What you got is from other than everything. I want to know, like, even when you go back now, like, for instance, I gave you a story about Zulkarnain, linking where Gog and Magog came from, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. It gives a description of this, right? Now, he wouldn't have known about these things. The Prophet would have known this. Only God would have known this. God is revealing this, and is revealing to us for a reason. So in this time, it will help us recognize who is doing what in the world today.
Yeah, Well, see, the reason I know about Magog, I mean, I would read the Bible when I was young, and I'd be like, Magog, you know, and all these different names. My son, he died 3 years ago. But he absolutely loved Scythian history, and that's Magog. That's what the Jews.
Is he still alive?
No, he died. But
was he in the war?
No. He
anyway, carry on.
Yeah, he loved Scythian history. He's writing a book on it, which I'm trying to get the tablet still. But then I started reading about the Scythians.
I'll give you my email address. I want you
see that it caused them the Assyrian, because it caused the false prophet, the Antichrist, the lawless one, whatever. It caused him the Assyrian too. The Assyrians learned their horsemanship off the Scythians. They were the best horsemen. They'd ride firing backwards. The Scythians. That's Russia. They always still use their, but that's like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan. All that's Magog, where the Scythians roam. And I think, I'm not sure about this, but I remember listening to him. I'm pretty sure that's why they started building the Great Wall of China. And then, like you said, they kind of went northeast. And then that's when I guess they started mixing with it would be the Inuits or the Chinese, the Asians. And then that's where you get Genghis Khan, the Mongols and all that. And then they went force like their fathers and conquering. They were white people, basically. Hungary. But we have the same story in our Bible. But the thing is y'all are part of it. Well, I don't know about you, but Iran is.
No, listen, I understand.
Listen, Iran, the water's drying up. The Chinese have just built a freight line from China to Iran. And that's possible, hauling tanks, all this different stuff. But it's like, I've been wondering, like, why is Barack Obama, why has Joe Biden, John Kerry, his daughter's married to a high-ranking Iranian. They keep sending, Obama, did you hear about that? He sent Iran, like, plane loads of cash.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what the hell? It's kind of like, okay, the Jews, I have to give them one thing. They're about it. They're having faith right now because they're trying to start a war with Iran. I mean, they're dying for it. You've seen it. Like, they've got a nuclear bomb. They got a nuclear bomb. For the last how many years? Oh, they're going to attack us. We got to, because that's when their temple's going to be built, and they're beside. All of them has to go back to Israel, and I believe that's why they're creating all the anti-Semitism, because they're in control of the media. And all of a sudden, it's like, where's all this anti-Semitism coming from? Before anybody said something, it was shut down. You couldn't even get on TV, right? Now look, they're marching in the streets, and it's like it's pushing them back to Israel. And then they need that war with Iran to bring this Antichrist about, is what I'm seeing and observing. Growing up, the Muslims, we always looked to y'all like, all right, y'all are fighting the godless communist hordes. It's like, all right, they're our buddies. But, I didn't know, like what y'all thought about Jesus.
So let's talk about the scriptures then, right? Let's talk about, say you got the Bible, it's a collection. It's a collection of 66 books and all that, right?
Yes.
It took a period of 325 years maybe for it to then become the final book, right?
Yeah.
Once it became the final book, they gave the title Bible, not the Gospel, right? So we can't say did Jesus authorize that, because he came with the Gospel. Why are these people?
I don't know who compiled it all.
When you read John 20, 30 and 31, right? Mm-hmm. John 20, it has a title, The Purpose of This Book, right? Or in other version, is it The Purpose of John's Gospel, right? So it's John's Gospel what is narrating about an incident or the thing and all that, right? Where Jesus, if he was a God, if he was a human and everything, right? He commissioned his mission for 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. He's all knowing, so he knows why he's come down and everything, right? Mm-hmm. He could have started writing the gospel from the age of 12 or from the age of 18 and this, that, but we don't see that's happening, so we question that, right? Because it was oral tradition. We Muslims, we can understand that, but to be, say, sometimes to throw a question at a Christian, if I wanted to do it as a trapping point, like we can do that, but I don't want to do that, right? What I want to say, right? Yeah. So it took 325 years, right? Even Council of Nicaea and everything, then they came and they decided what goes in this book. So John 20, 30, it says that there were many miracles that Jesus did, right? In front of the disciples that are not recorded in this book. We're not talking about the whole of thing or exaggeration. For instance, we have a verse in the Quran where Allah says, if you take the ocean and you put 7 layers on top of that ocean, and you make all the trees into pen and that ocean into ink, and you start writing this greatness down, he said the pen will wear off, the ink will finish, but the greatness will never finish.
Jesus said there's no book that can hold what he did.
That's fine. But what I want to say, right, they saying, so they decided what goes in, what doesn't go in, right? The people who are making the Bible, right? And then they say, but these are written, what they are writing, what they want for you to read, for you to know. They make that decision. It's them. That's what you got to understand.
I mean, like you had libraries, like even y'all say you all invented algebra or geometry and all this stuff. Y'all got it from the Greeks. They had built libraries, universities all through the Middle East. When I was I can't remember now.
So what I wanted to say, right? So what we see, right? What Allah is telling us, right? Because Allah says He saved the son of Mary. If you look at, I think Psalms, I don't know which one, it talks about. It's actually on that phone. But what I want to say to you, right? What we believe, for instance, I'm going to share something with you. I want you to go back in America.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to say this. Things are obvious by looking at nature. It says God is obvious by just observation.
Yeah.
You know? And what I observe, see, where I'm from, it's kind of country. It's kind of, out. There's a city there and stuff. But, I mean, it's pretty much isolated. We had the same culture. Same people, been there for 100 years. I mean, they built a chemical factory and they've moved people in. But in that area, pretty much people's been there since the pioneers. Now, it was peaceful. Like
America is
then we started getting all these.
They only went there in the 16th century, though.
Mine went in the 1750s.
15th century. When did Columbus go there?
He went there.
Before Columbus, there were no white people in America, right?
Well, they find Anglo-Saxon forts. They had a tribe called the Moon-Eyed people. Had blue eyes.
Okay.
They find Anglo-Saxon forts.
Your heritage will be from Europe,
Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My last name's Grills.
Grills.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they come in during the Anglo-Indian Wars.
How can I prove? Can I prove to you the Quran is the last and the final message of God?
Well, let me
by
finish.
showing you a miracle.
Finish. Well, a miracle. You're going to do a miracle.
I'll show you a miracle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Nice one. So all the prophets, when they come, God.
I don't need a miracle to believe in God, though. I want to tell you that.
You don't need a miracle to believe in God.
No.
We're not talking about to believe in God. You believe in God, I understand.
Yeah.
But what I want you to go further to believe that God is the one, is the God of Moses, and same as God of Jesus, is the one God that sent Prophet Muhammad for the whole of mankind now. It's that same God. That's what I want to prove to you. It is that God.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
Okay. So, I told you that Prophet Muhammad couldn't read and write, right? So if God given him information, so there'll be information in the Quran relating to their time. But as the book is now for the end of mankind, there'll be things in there that when we look at in our time, we are able to recognize that how could this man who couldn't read and write have this information at that time. For instance, let me tell you, right? Like, for instance, the Morris Code, how it came.
Well, the Jews did that too. Like when Christ was, when Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Alas, alas, why have thou forsaken me?" That's a call to prayer. They would say it orally.
We don't believe that actually probably did happen.
Well,
right?
no, I'm saying they would say things orally, memorize it.
Yeah.
Like I know an old man.
That's someone praying, right, for something. We're talking about miracle. For instance, if I take you to the River Thames right now, right, and I did something of the nature of Moses did with his people crossing the Red Sea, and it departed, right? And if that did happen,
they didn't believe it.
Who?
The Jew. It was the nation of Israel then. The Hebrews. They didn't believe it.
They crossed it.
They saw it. I know. They saw it. They didn't believe it, did they?
What? No.
They didn't know how to be Jews, did they?
No, forget
they wandered the desert.
Now, me and you, we believe they wandered the desert.
Yeah, they didn't know how to be Jews.
Worship the calf and
he
all
said,
that.
Go
in
over,
his absence.
He said, "Go over and take the land. It's yours."
Yeah.
He told them how to create a perfect ethno state.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it.
But what I'm trying to say,
didn't believe it.
You believe in miracles, don't you?
I've seen them.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me show you one now.
Okay.
So the Morris Code, Thomas Edison, I think he was behind the pioneer of this, yeah?
I believe so.
Right. And they said that we can send the signal through the air. So they went to work and they created this thing called the Morris Code. And then they use that. Then they use that in the warfare and all that, right? Right. While that is getting used in the warfare, he's still in his laboratory and whatever he is in his workspace, right? Then he says, we can actually send a voice message through the air. So they created the walkie-talkie, right? From one device to another device. It's happening through the air. So when that came, then we had radio stations, cars came out, cars, radios, and this, that, and the other, right? Then they said we can send a picture through the air. So then we had the black and white TV, the color TV, and everything, right? All happening through.
Well, we didn't invent those things. We just discovered them.
We discovered them. That's fine.
Yeah, they was already there.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
X-rays, gamma rays. That's all a lot. It's a spectrum a lot.
So what I'm trying to say is they doing this. They said that we can send a message from this part to that part of the world. We can do it through the air. For instance, right. So this air that God has created.
When we pray, right?
Right. Well, listen. Yeah. God has created. They're doing it through that substance. This is the medium that we have to use to use that.
The unseen. That, I believe that's the veil.
Right.
It talks about.
Okay.
Yes.
So then we had the internet. We had through the phone line. Now we got the Wi-Fi, again happening through the air. And on an iPhone, we have an AirDrop, right? That you can drop. Now, let me show you this, right?
And it has no mass. You know that? All the information on your phone has no mass. It'll still weigh the same no matter how much you put on there. And you can transmit it through the air, just like what's inside of us.
But everything's happening through the air, right?
Yeah, us. Like, you know, you don't see me really.
So if look, a person can't read and write.
Okay.
In the desert of Arabia, just read the first line for me.
By the winds that scatter broadcast. Okay.
So that information there, in their time, they wouldn't know what that is about. But because the Quran is a miracle for the end of time, there are things in there right now that we find that when we look at it, it's actually talking to us in our time. So in our time right now, we know how this communication has come about.
Is that the Arabic, or is that the English?
English translation.
Because in a lot of, I've noticed when I travel, you know, I'll hear their language, and then you'll hear transmitter, or you'll hear English words for modern technology. Is that an original Arab word?
I think this I wouldn't know, because I'm guessing it would be.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I'll be in a lot of countries, and I'll hear blah 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 blah, and I'll hear television.
You know, like
John, like Western inventions.
It is John, right? Your name?
Yes.
So you know, John, this is just one of the thing I showed you, right?
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
That's interesting, isn't it? Like, how would he have known that? So that would show you that it is God who's talking to him, right? Then God has sent this book, right, for the whole of mankind. God is clear about that. God is also clear about He is the universal prophet. And you will find all the information and all the practice, what the real prophets in the past they have done, the real teaching, we are actually doing it, right? Jesus was circumcised, we are circumcised, right? Moses and all these people were circumcised. We're up on
well,
but listen to this, right?
Too personal. We don't mutilate ourselves.
How are you into science? How is your knowledge about science? You know,
science.
Science, yeah.
What?
Well, you know, it talks about.
I know energy cannot be created nor destroyed. We have energy all in us, right? It's got to go somewhere.
When was atom discovered?
An atom?
Yeah.
They were splitting them in the early 1900s.
1900s.
With electricity.
Quran has said that on the day of judgment, anybody does any atom of good or atom of bad, if we use the word atom there, atom which is small as that, we will see it on that day. Whether it's big, whether it's small as that, any action, good or bad, on the day of judgment, we will see it.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like we're in a digital reality. Things can only be so small and they can only be so big, right? Like once it gets so small, it loses relevance, right? And then it can only be so big. It's like I don't know how to describe it. I'm just saying like a digital reality. It's like, and I think the faith is like, as soon as you realize this, like this is all like some sort of hologram or some sort of digital reality, I think that's when you get up on that plane with God. You know what I mean? Like a surfer getting up on the riding wave and you just...
So you believe there's a path?
Oh, yeah.
This is what we pray for. When we pray in the Islamic tradition 5 times a day, one of the things that we recite is show us the straight path. The path from those whom you bestowed your grace upon.
Can I just tell you something now? Like, okay, I'm looking right now.
John.
Wait. Like, I'm looking right now.
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't know how this used to... I've seen films of how this used to be. Right? And everybody's like, kind of like, God, man, things are just changing for the worst. And like all these people in charge of us are so wicked. Like they want to mutilate kids or wanting all this stuff. And those people are wanting you here. You know what I mean? And we're all sitting back. Like we don't come out. We're up in the mountains and we're out in the woods and we're just watching. We're like, what are they doing with this? Where are they going with this? You know, while we're sitting and preparing. We're just watching y'all. And we're like, these sodomite faggots are bringing all these people in. You know what I mean? Like, why are they bringing these people in?
But then again,
well, listen to
they
it.
created
and
the
then
problem.
We're like, okay, well, all the signs are lining up. Like these old men, I love history, and I listen to old men. And they said, I'd see this one day. They say, you see China be a superpower. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it's here. I listen to them old men intently. Everything that they said is here. And then I watch these, like I said, these evil people are like, we need Muslims. We need homosexuals. We need this.
Oh, come on.
Listen, everything's against us.
Are we homosexual?
Listen.
Are we homosexual?
No, not you. Okay. I'm just saying, but
okay.
When y'all had that parade,
yeah,
the Queers for Palestine,
yeah,
and all these evil people are with you.
With
they won't come to church. They hate us.
They don't come to mosque.
They hate us.
They don't come to mosque.
And you see our church is being corrupted.
They don't come to mosque though. We got no.
Well, they might not. But I'm just saying a true church won't either. But we're kind of sitting back.
A lot of people here are Christian. They wouldn't condemn what you're condemning.
They're not Christians.
Thank you.
These people have been brainwashed so bad with evolution.
Thank you.
This is not Christianity. So, Christianity is being strong.
You see what you're saying there, right? When we say
my forefathers,
listen.
When they set out,
John.
Yeah.
See the way you just stayed on your stance, right?
Yeah.
Right. You stayed on your truth and everything, right?
Yeah.
When we're Muslim, we stand up to our book and scriptures like that, right? We get called fundamentalists.
Well,
straight away.
Well, I mean, they can call us whatever they want, but like I said, we're sitting back and we're watching.
Meet John from the US.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, doing good.
Nice to meet you here.
Yeah, but like,
how's it going?
Yeah, I've seen him on YouTube. I was coming to.
Man.
He's nice. I've seen you on there too.
Oh my God!
You was arguing with that one guy the other day. But like I said, we sit up.
This is our major.
A major?
Yeah, man.
Y'all got ranks?
He's ranked proper here.
I'm a general, by God. No, but like we're sitting back, right? I mean, I sit up mainly. I go up in the woods. I sit up there and I target shoot and I practice.
So you have a problem propagating to the cave?
Huh? Yeah, that's where you find God, is the wilderness.
Okay.
Right? So I'm sitting there, and people like-minded like me, we're like multiculturalism, diversity, horse shit. You know? It's like, all this is doing is making us weak and destroying everything our forefathers built. You know what I mean?
So, John,
and there's coming a day, I'm telling you, people are getting fed up.
What we couldn't do it under that situation.
And when we get fed up, we build nuclear bombs.
John, I think us,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think us, like me,
we destroy a whole continent.
What I can do in this situation is know what the truth is and try to get to people to see what the truth is, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you the truth. Like, but people won't say nothing because they're scared. I'll go to jail. Oh, they might kill me. It's like, what are you threatening me with? Heaven? You're going to behead me? You know what I mean?
So John, again, right? What I want to say.
You can spread that around too.
What I want to say, right? So
we're waiting.
If you even see the sign in Islam, it is actually from that same creator who said Jesus. It all makes sense to you like this. Just say, if it does that,
it was good.
Would you? No. What I'm saying, would you then still say, but it's not for me? After all of that, would you still say that, or say, wait there, this was the true message of Jesus. This is the true God who we pray to. These were the laws that he was practicing or holding what these people are doing. Yeah. This is the Quran. This is their miracle. Because all prophets were given miracle. And our miracle is the book. It just happened to be so. That's what God has chosen.
Let me ask you this too.
Would you then still remain as a Christian? That's
let me ask you this. Think about this. If you'll remain a Muslim, okay? How has Western countries been able to control Muslim countries? How has Christian nations went in and wrecked y'all's nations? if y'all know the truth?
That's because we told you
We've
about
wrecked y'all.
Gog and Magog.
Right? I haven't.
We spoke about Gog and Magog. We talked about the history. We talked about the New World Order.
Yeah.
It's all to do with
all
all
I'm saying,
of that.
like,
It's all to
we
do
went
with that.
in, we split your lands up. We've divided it up. Like, this is ours, this is yours. Right? The Jews are going to live here and you're going to live there. How's that possible if you know the truth?
No,
nobody can really move. It's when I see people straying from the truth. That's when other people are able to conquer them.
So this is politics again. This is politics.
No,
this is politics again.
No,
the way I say it, in order for that to take place, right? The first thing the Christians and all that done, right? The European, what they done is they destroyed the Islamic State. Where all the order comes
We created the Islamic State.
No, you didn't. It was created by the
No, they brought the dude into Abu Ghraib prison. They walk out with 700 people, right?
No.
They walk down to
the Islamic State was created from the time the Prophet went to Medina.
I'm talking you talking about ISIS.
No. When he went to Medina, that's when it was established.
But what do we do to ISIS?
Eh?
What do we do to ISIS? We got them. We sent some people from Gitmo prison, sent them to Iraq. They walk out of a prison. They go to a U.S. Army weapon depot, drive off with tanks and artillery. We just let them do it. Then they go out in the middle of Syria. They're destabilizing it for a pipeline. This is all the Palestine and Israel. Have you heard of the Leviathan gas field? This is what this is all about. It's about money.
Yeah.
And they're paying their sides to do whatever. Israel's paying their side. The Palestinians. I mean, they got a big stake in it. They were fighting over oil claims, and all of a sudden October 7th happened, right? So if you look at all the countries that was destabilized, that's where they was wanting to run a pipeline to Europe. Now, we destabilized it.
We talked about that. We've gone past that.
We didn't talk about the pipeline, did we?
But it doesn't matter. It's all in the pipeline, and there's going to be more to come. If we talked about 9/11 and 7/7
well,
and all of that, it's all the same people doing the same old thing, and they're going to continue because they have an agenda. Until they get to the agenda, until they take the compound of Al-Aqsa, right? Until they bring the mosques down, right? Until they build a temple there, and then this eye that you showed us on the dollar bill, he stands there and he then claims to be the Messiah.
Have you ever seen the royal seal? The unicorn is a representation of Christ's people, and it's got a lion of Judah following that. Got it in chains. You know what I mean? That bloodline's Jewish, and they're sitting here protesting in a Zionist-controlled country, and he's letting it go on. And they're like, come bring it more in. What do you think they're going at with that?
What are you taking from this conversation today?
I think you're a nice fella.
Apart from that, when it comes to scriptures we've spoken, when it comes the book, the thing that I showed you.
I got to credit off to one guy. Like I said, I love to study. I love to read.
You've never read the Quran though?
Yeah, I've read some of it. My cousin converted. She was somebody international lawyer, her and her husband. I ain't seen her long. They moved to Turkey and now they go to UCLA, excuse me. But she converted. And I said, why did you convert? I said, you don't even have to speak Arabic. God ain't going to hear you. Or that God ain't, right? You can't, he don't want to understand you to speak Arabic, right? He want to answer your prayers, right?
Do we have the same purpose?
I mean, is that true?
Say that again.
Allah can't hear you unless you speak Arabic, right?
No, he can understand you in English.
I thought you had to learn Arabic.
No. When we learn Arabic,
is that a Sunni thing or a Shia?
No. When we pray in, it's more virtuous when we do it in Arabic, right? Now, to learn the Arabic, about learning how to read the Quran, it ain't that difficult. We start with the alphabet, right? And then we bring one alphabet, another alphabet, we put them together, and we say, what does this make the sound? That makes the sound. It's like the alphabet. We start like that, and then it becomes easy, right? So when it comes to praying to God, when you're supplicating, like, Ya Allah, Lord of the heaven and the earth and all that's in between, Lord of the east and the west, right? You, all praises for you, right? Guide my brother John here, or John says, Ya Allah.
Yeah. We're to go to a closet and pray in secret. Yeah. And I'm so glad Jesus did that. And I'm going to say this, and don't take no offense, or just listen to what I say to you, because this is what I have observed. All through Europe, right? I'll see y'all get together, and they'll go and pray. And then when they get up, I've seen this. They'll go over and smoke dope, or they'll drink beer right after they get done praying. I mean, like a lot of them, and then they'll get up. Oh, look at that white girl.
You know what you're looking at there? You're looking at a seasonal
seasonal
festival.
I've seen
now, let me tell you this, right? People who are regular 5 times a day, it will be very difficult for you to find them.
I was in a migrant camp too.
Listen. People, those who are praying 5 times a day, you'll find it very difficult to find them what they're doing, what you described, right? You'll find it very difficult. But listen. That one is seasonal. For instance, right? We're supposed to pray 5 times a day, right? But the Muslim has gone so weak. Only 10% of the population are probably doing the 5 daily prayer. 10% out of 100%, right? Yeah. Then you got majority of Muslims, whether they praying every day or not, they are definitely there on a Friday prayer, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so that's kind of stuff. Then you got Eid. You got Eid, the celebration, 2 of them, right? So when that comes around, you find everybody going to the mosque and praying, and it's probably dispatched at this sort of time. You're finding they just prayed, but they're going now because they're celebrating. They're
Christians, they're so-called. I'm sure they're not believers. They just do the thing to be. So
let's talk about what the scripture says. Yeah. And to get salvation as well as in Christianity, it is conditional as well. The same thing in Islam.
Well,
right?
It ain't meant for everybody.
No, it's not meant for everybody.
We're not supposed to cast our pearls amongst swine. Like when we get tidbits from God, and like I know they're not a believer, I'm not to tell you things.
So if I was to say to you about, say, Jesus, right? Jesus, you think he's God, yeah?
I know he is.
Okay. So is God all knowledgeable?
Yes.
Is God all knowing?
Yeah.
We look at Jesus, there are certain things he didn't know. Like there's a passage, I think it's in Mark somewhere, he was coming with his disciples. And he saw a fig tree from a distance. And he was hungry. And he approached the fig tree to eat some fig. When he got there, he found the fig had no fig.
He made it wilt.
Right?
Yeah.
He never had no fig.
Yeah.
And then the author writes, because it wasn't the season. Now God would know the season. Why did he forget the season? Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't remember reading that.
That's in the book, right?
I don't remember. I remember the story about him getting a pair. That's right before.
Have you got a phone? Right? Have you got a phone?
Yeah, but I ain't got service.
Okay.
He's gonna say, man, just help each other out.
Huh?
He's gonna be like, you need to help each other out.
Yeah.
Go find yourself some food.
Yeah.
Get along.
Yeah.
You don't have to dress different. You don't have to do this and that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like everybody thinks they know God. Right? It's kind of like our Constitution. Like the theory is.
Did that put you off when I said about Jesus didn't know the season for?
No, I've just never read that.
You never read it?
No.
It's in Matthew.
I mean, I ain't saying it ain't there, but I don't remember reading.
But you realize that.
I read the Bible a lot.
But do you believe that Jesus received revelation?
Do
you believe he received revelation?
As in, he gave Revelation. The book of Revelation, his book.
Yeah, he gave, right?
Yeah.
But in order for him to give, did he receive that?
Well, it said that he gave it to John.
But he received it. Yeah. It said he received it as well.
Yeah, revealed from the Father.
Yeah, okay. If the Father never revealed it to him, would he have known the revelation?
Well,
he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
I mean, it's
because if he did, he would have just done it, right? Because so that shows that he's a human being. He's dependent, right?
He was a human being.
The God that we talk about, was ever living, everlasting, right? He doesn't depend on anything, right? God doesn't depend, right? But then again, when you say his God, it depends on air to keep him alive. It needs food to keep him going.
It's kind of like if I'm God and I'm looking down, God requires a sacrifice. Like the Tower of Babel, we can't get to heaven by what we do. There's nothing we can do.
You said God doesn't require sacrifice, but it's what your
does require.
No, your church fathers put that because they.
Well, not anymore,
They saw the Old Testament and they saw the tradition there, right? Animal sacrifice, and therefore blood sacrifice is needed and everything, right? They then interpret that to say he came down. Like, look, you say Jesus came down to die for our sin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine he's coming down to die for his sin, so he knows he's going to die for his sin. But how should it actually, from there, it should play out? It should go something like, John, Luke, yes, my Lord. What? I've changed my mind. Why, my Lord? Throw me on the cross. Nail me. Why, my Lord? I had to make the apple. I have to die for the sin of mankind.
Well,
if anything,
Adam ate the apple of love.
listen, but if anything, because you're saying he came to die for our sin, right? You should have been bold about it. I've come to die for the sin. Do it, man. Nail me. Don't wait there. It's got to be done. I need to bleed. All these words should have been coming from his mouth, right? Rather, what you see is saying, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?
That's a call to prayer.
If a man,
have you ever read the rest of that?
Yeah, but listen, if I say I've come to do this, right, and then the tone changes, why did the tone change? Like, I've come to die for your sin. I've come to nail me. Don't wait there, John. What you're doing? Nail me right now. And you're like, God, Lord, I can't do it, John. Do it. I'll give you the power. Whatever. And then you're doing it like this. You're doing it like that. And then he died, and everyone look, man, he came. That's more convincing, right? This 1 minute, like for instance, to be honest, have you seen the way Saddam was taken out?
They hung him.
Yeah, they hang him, right? Yeah. But when he approached the rope,
he was raising cane as he went out.
When he approached the rope, you know this bodyguard there, right? Who hid his face, fearing that his followers will unalive him, right? So he hid his face, and he had him, right? And he wanted to put a mask on thingy, and Saddam said no.
Yeah,
I'm going to do it like a man.
I didn't see that.
I'm going to do it like a man, and he done it like a man. But what I'm trying to say, if you're saying that God came down, was telling to you, making you all feel good, he came down to die for us sin, hallelujah, yeah. But then when he goes to the cross, it's like, John, nail me, don't wait there, you're not going to understand it. I'm telling you, you're not going to understand it. What are you waiting for? Nail that, bang it, bang it. It should have happened like that. It doesn't happen like that, John. It doesn't happen like that. Come on. It doesn't add up. Then
I don't know, it happened like that.
It doesn't add up.
It didn't happen like that, though.
Listen, it should have happened like this. What I'm trying to say. He came to die for your sin. That you're saying he made that claim. I came to die for your sin, right? Now listen to this, yeah. At what point in his life did he have a change of mind?
I never read about any change of mind.
Right. Yeah, but he shouldn't, because he's come down, right? And whatever he's been doing all of this time hasn't worked, right? But there must have been a point where people say he came to die for our sin, right? So he must to initiate that from his mouth. That I've come to die for your sin, right? That had to happen in his lifetime somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It didn't happen. There was something else I wanted to say, man.
We could say, I mean, this would take explaining this would take not just debating here. It takes sitting down and.
I agree.
Because I got like this, and I got 1,000 things going through my head.
I'm going to turn off now.